Hi everyone! Today I am here with my favourite books of 2017 video. None of these books that I'm showing you are going to be a five-star books because I didn't give a single book 5 stars this year apart from Harry Potter rereads and a couple of other rereads. But these are very close to being 5-star reads, so I really enjoyed them. And they all are a series. So I'm going to talk about top 3 books or top 3 series that I enjoyed throughout the year of 2017, and then I'm going to mention just several books that I thought were really good but didn't quite make it to my favorite books of 2017. The first series that I'm going to talk about is 5 books from the Russian series. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you would definitely have seen these books. These are a Russian series about this magical academy. They are very humorous, very fun, very adventurous. The main character is a weird girl which is very mischievous, and she does some weird funny things, but it's actually hilarious to read about, and it's just so comfortable, to be honest. It is definitely cozy reads for me, and I reread this book twice, the first book from the series, and I'm planning to reread the whole series at some point in the future again, because I just had so much fun reading these books. They were just amazing, adorable. I think I gave the first one 5 stars, by the way, and the rest of them were 4 stars mostly. One of them was 3 stars. But yeah, this series is so much fun. Another series, I've only read the first 3 books from the series and planning to continue on with it. That is Percy Jackson series. Obviously Greek mythology themed books, middle grade, adventurous, humorous, a lot of fun to read. I loved the first 3 books. I gave them all 4 stars. They're so much fun, and yeah, I think everyone will enjoy them, even the people who don't really like middle grade. I personally love middle grade because I think it's always cute and funny and very nice way of spending your time just reading a middle grade book, especially these ones. They're so interesting, and also they are a kind of educative. Is that even a word? From these books I've learned quite a bit from Greek mythology, and I think it's fascinating. Another book, it is the first book from the series. I haven't finished any others, but planning to. So it is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I've read her The Infernal Devices trilogy a while ago, at least a year or 2 ago. I liked that series a lot, and so this one reminds me of that because it's set in the same world but in modern times, whilst that one was set in the 19th or 18th century London. It brought me so much nostalgia for some reason, and it is a proper iconic teenage book, young adult book. I think it is one of the best young adult books ever. It is full of adventures, it has things evolving gradually, and I think it's just really good as the first book at least, and I'm planning to continue reading the series at some point in the future. I was just in a reading slump. Basically it is full of paranormal creatures and everything, and it's just so much fun to read. I can't even explain what this book is about because it's just, I don't know, I can't explain it. If you want to, you can read it on Goodreads or somewhere else, because I am terrible at explaining the plot of this book. Now, like I said, I'm going to mention 6 books that I thought are really good, very interesting and very good structured, and everything's good about them, like proper literature, most of them. That's how I would describe them. Number 1 is probably not that kind of, it is not very proper literature, but I think it is the best, one of the best books of young adult literature, if that makes sense. This is Girl Online Going Solo by Zoe Sugg, or Zoella, she's known as Zoella more. It is the 3rd book from the trilogy, and I absolutely loved it. I gave this book 4 stars. I read the first 2 books last year, I believe, and I thought they were so much fun. It is not just a romance typical book. It is about finding yourself, about fighting your fears, about finding your ways in life, dealing with problems and everything. It's so much more than just romance things. And I think Zoe did a great job of writing these books. I absolutely love them. So I'm planning to reread them at some point in the future, the whole trilogy, because I think many teenagers would love this book, and even not teenagers. I'm not a teenager, I'm 24, and I absolutely love these books, so I think they're so much fun. I think every teenage girl should read this book, the whole trilogy. Another book, actually, I didn't enjoy it at the time as much as I thought I would, and then I thought it's like average, but now thinking about it, I actually think that it was a good book, and it is Tom's Midnight Garden by Philippa Pearce. It is a children's classic, I believe. It's got some illustrations, old-styled, old-fashioned illustrations, but it is so cute, and it transports you to a completely different world of friendship, of adventures, children's adventures, and I think it's just so cute. It's basically about this boy who discovers a garden, a forbidden garden at night, and things start happening. I gave this book 3 stars, but I think at some point I'll have to reread it and see if I like it even more, because it won the Carnegie Medal, so I think it's worth reading. The next books are definitely the ones that I said, like proper literature, including Tom's Midnight Garden as well. So the first one is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I thought that this book was really, really interesting. It is gothic, it's supposed to be a gothic novel about this girl who is getting married to a man, and she moves into his house, and then everyone in the house seems to be haunted by his previous wife Rebecca. Everyone seems to love her. She was really, really popular, she was really, really beautiful and everything, and now she's just, the wife is trying to deal with everything. I felt like this book was so good. I gave this book 4 stars. It was a bit slow going from time to time, but at the same time it's kind of a cozy, comfortable read. I think not the coziest, but still very enjoyable to read and very proper literature, like I said. Another book is by the same author. I don't have a physical copy with me, but it is called My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. I enjoyed that book a lot more than I enjoyed Rebecca, to be honest. It was a lot more fast going, there were a lot of things happening, there were very likable characters. I like the friendship between the 2 main characters, the 2 brothers, 2 cousins I believe. And Rachel as a character I absolutely loved. She's very, very interesting. There was a film that came out this year as well, last year in 2017. I didn't actually watch it, I don't know why, but maybe one day I will watch it. It was absolutely interesting. It was such an interesting book. I highly recommend you reading it, and if you're thinking of starting Daphne du Maurier, I would recommend that book, even though I've only read 2 books by her, but in the future I'm planning to read some more. From time to time I just couldn't stop reading this book because it was so interesting and so engaging, so definitely very, very interesting. I can't really explain the plot of this book because I can't remember what I'm supposed to tell you, what I'm not supposed to tell you, and I think it's better if you go into this book without actually knowing anything, because things start unraveling and you're like, wow, and you just guess throughout the whole book about the things that are happening, about Rachel, what she's like and everything. The next book is called The House at Riverton by Kate Morton. That was a book about this writer who committed suicide, but then it might have not been a suicide, and it is basically, there's a lot in this book. It's about friendship, it's about trust, it's about loyalty, about everything you want in the book. It is there. Now it's being filmed. One of the people who worked there in the house at the time, she's telling the story of what things have happened in the past, and if that's true, that he committed suicide and everything. So it's like a mystery, but it is so much more than just a mystery. Absolutely, it is a very, very interesting book, and I highly recommend everyone read this book. It was quite a big book. I think it was about 500 pages or something like that, but it is definitely interesting, and I found myself not being able to put it down from time to time. I wanted to keep reading it because every page that you read, it gives you more information about things that happened, and I like the structure of this book. Sometimes things would be happening in the past like they were real. Sometimes it will be like how they're discussing the film, how they're going to make it, and sometimes it will be just the thoughts of the woman who was working there at the time, in the present time. And so she would give us some clues from what happened in the past without actually saying what happened. So it's really, really interesting and entertaining read. And the last book that I want to mention is called Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Obviously, I think everyone knows about this book. It is a classic book, and I really enjoyed it. First though, I was going to DNF it because I thought it wasn't interesting enough for me. I was listening to it as an audiobook, but in the end I thought I was so attached to the main characters, and this book felt a bit like a guide of how to be in a family, how to build relationship and everything. So I think it is a really important book for every woman to read, and even every man to read, anyone really, because I think it's just wonderful. The main characters are, the four sisters, are very different from each other, and they all have different opinions, and they would teach you different things. And their mother, I absolutely love their mother. She's such a wise woman. Sometimes when she would be speaking, I would be listening to it very carefully, because honestly there were a couple of good pieces of advice in this book, and it is just a comfortable, very cozy read. And if you find it hard to go into classics, this is a very good book to start with. But if you're struggling with it for the first several pages or chapters, just power through it and you will enjoy it, absolutely enjoy it. At the end I felt like I was going to give it 5 stars, but then didn't quite get there, so still a very good book. So these are all of the books that I would like to mention in this video. Please tell me what was your favorite book of 2017, or several favorite books, because sometimes it's difficult to just point out one. I would love to know that. And thank you for watching. Bye.